Hi, everybody. Good Friday night to you. Hope you're enjoying the month of May, and you're going to enjoy more high school baseball playoffs tonight on VypeFortBend.com. It is Game 2 of the Class 6A second round series, or area round series, between the Ridgepoint Panthers and the Westside Wolves. Last night we brought you a thriller in Game 1 as Ridgepoint prevailed in 8 innings by a score of 2-1. So they're trying to close out a sweep, and then they will meet either Tompkins or Lamar in the next round. Tonight's exclusive VypeFortBend.com broadcast of the Ridgepoint Panthers in the playoffs is brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome. By First Tire and Automotive. You know, they have 4 great locations in Fort Bend County, and they are open and ready to serve you Monday through Saturday. You can get the best prices you will ever find on tires. You get great service for your vehicle, and so you can go to one of those locations. You can go to their website, firsttireandauto.com, print up a coupon and get even more savings, and they just have a great value on everything that they bring you at First Tire and Automotive. By Archer Volkswagen, open since 1956 and ready to serve you. Archer Volkswagen is on Highway 59 South. They're just inside the Sam Houston Tollway, and you will feel like family at Archer Volkswagen. And by the Needville Insurance Agency. Put hundreds of dollars back in your pocket when Bradley Stavanaugh and the Needville Insurance Agency team shop all those insurance carriers, and you can find the very lowest premium on your car insurance and your home insurance. You don't even have to leave your house. Call Bradley Stavanaugh. 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. It is time for the Batter Up Show before the game between Ridgepoint and Westside, and we'll bring you Clinton Welch of the Ridgepoint Panthers because your Panthers are the visiting team tonight here at Stratford High School. Very nice neutral site venue. The field is in great shape, and we'll be right back on VypeFortBend.com.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Welcome, everybody, to the Batter Up Show. Good Friday to you, and for the Ridgepoint Panthers, if they get the win tonight in Game 2 against Westside, it'll be an especially good Friday night. It's time to talk to Clinton Welch, head coach of the Ridgepoint Panthers. Wow, what an exciting game last night, and what sticks out to you in that game, and I'll bet it's something that you want to do better in Game 2.
Well, I mean, just perseverance. We hung in there and had some bad luck early in the game with hitting balls right to people and or them making some great plays, a little bit of both. But they're a feisty team, well coached, so as always, we've got our work cut out for us, but they hung in there and then clutched up there at the end of the game with some great defensive plays.
Well, I was very impressed with the way Westside played. I mean, they fought like their very lives depended on winning the game, and they almost did pull it off. Have you ever seen a play quite like the one where Hunter Nichols tagged out their runner Hanley at the plate to keep that go-ahead run off the board?
Well, it's rare to get somebody at home plate on a wild pitch pass ball at our field because the backstop's pretty far back. You look at this part and it's a little bit closer. So, I mean, in theory, tonight you could see the same play because we'll have to find out because we haven't played here in quite a long time. But it looks like their backstop with the padding and it being closer, wild pitch pass ball could be in play if it hits it and comes back fast enough. So, but no, not very often at our park for sure.
And it's got to be part of the fact that, I've talked to Coach Barrow enough to think that, he just looks at your team and says that is a really good team, and they're going to take a few chances and be aggressive. And they sent that guy all the way from second and try to get home. J.J. Kennett was out of my view. I couldn't really see what was happening. I just know Hunter was at the plate looking like he was waiting for what seemed like an eternity for it to get there.
Yeah, and it was. J.J. did a good job of hustling back and came up and threw a strike, so to speak, to Hunter. So, again, it was a good play, and we got lucky.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and good luck tonight. And I guess some of us will get to sleep in a little bit longer if you get the victory in Game 2.
Well, we'll see. That's our hope for sure, but this is a good team. Everybody's good this time of year, obviously, so we've got our work cut out for us.
All right, and one, well, no, I can't ask that next question because it's presumptuous, and I'm not going to do that. All right, so that is Clinton Welch, head coach of the Ridge Point Panthers. We'll be back with Mike Barrow of Westside. We're getting you ready for Game 2, Ridge Point against Westside. Second round of the playoffs, the winner of this one to move on. The Lamar Texans. We'll be right back with Mike Barrow on VypeFortBend.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a fourth generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Welcome back to Stratford Spartan Field, and here's the second half of the Batter Up Show as we visit with Mike Barrow, the head coach of the Westside Wolves. And Coach Barrow, I know there's no such thing as a moral victory. You came to the ballpark at Ridge Point hoping to get a win. You didn't quite get it, but I was so impressed with the way your team just fought and scratched and gave Ridge Point everything that they wanted. And is there just one thing in particular that you need to do better that could put you over the top if we have another close game tonight?
I mean, we were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, so it's tough to win games when you're 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. I thought we played very clean defense. Man, the Nichols kid was very good last night. He was down in the zone. He was throwing 2 pitches for a strike. He was very competitive. I mean, it was just great. I mean, I felt like last night was a mirror image of 2 teams that are very similar, and the top of the inning looked a whole lot like the bottom of the inning a whole lot through that game, and we misplayed that ball in center field, and Mike lost it in the lights, and, you know, that kind of changed things. But we're here. We're fighters. We're competitors. I mean, they're a good program, but they're going to have to beat us. I thought they beat us last night, and they're going to have to beat us again tonight. So.
And by the way, I don't know that I've just got to figure out what I would need to do, but I think high school light standards at baseball fields need to be taller because there's so many of those balls that go way up in the air, and it's easy for an outfielder to lose it. But Fisk didn't catch that one, but wow, what a great relay he had to throw a guy out at third. You know, Ridge Point's Parker Martin trying to stretch a double to a triple. And Ike Rodriguez, I don't know how many he caught out there in left field. I think maybe it was about 15. Probably not that many.
But Gabbo, our third baseman, made a heck of a play on a line drive. Ike made 2 plays out and left. We had a right fielder make a play. I mean, shoot, they made some plays too. I mean, it was a great game. Last night's one of the most fun baseball games I've ever been a part of. It was a blast. We were on the wrong side of it, and that hurts, and it's very frustrating. But, man, it's high school baseball. You're watching kids go out there and compete and have fun, and their kids are respectful, our kids are respectful. They're just out there playing hard for their teams and their schools, and that's what you want. It's a lot of fun to watch it.
I was thinking about what you were saying. I was being such a good listener, I kind of forgot what my next question was, but I know it was a pretty good one. Oh, yeah, you had told me during last night's pregame that you have a staff of pitchers where they're very similar. No one really overpowers you with the speed, but they're very good at making the ball move around. And Nathan Rangel, wow, what a game he pitched. Is that the best game he's pitched this year?
No, it's funny. If you'd have seen him pitch all year, that's how he's been all year. He's a dude for us. His batting average against is like 146. His ERA is under 2. I mean, he just competes. He's a ball player. He's a dude. I mean, he doesn't look like it. He's kind of weird shaped, but he's got long hair. But man, the kid's a competitor. I mean, he's an absolute competitor. I mean, you saw what he did to that lineup of theirs last night. I mean, they swing the crap out of the bat, and he kept them off balance for the most part. I mean, they hit some line drives, and we were fortunate enough to catch some balls. But the kid pitches his tail off, man. I'm extremely proud of him. Thought he did a very, very, very good job. He's the one that lost the 1-0 game to Lamar the first time we played them in district. He threw 66 pitches and got beat 1-0. So I mean, it's just, he's a good kid. Nichols was better than us last night. I thought Nate made 2 bad pitches. He hung an 0-2 curveball to Vasos, hit the double that scored Stevens, and then there was another pitch he made that wasn't very good that I didn't feel like was very competitive.
Is that the one where Parker Martin got thrown out, stretching the double to a triple?
That might have been it. I thought Fisk misplayed that ball in center field a little bit, the ball that we threw him out at third. He kind of came in on it and then recovered quick enough and definitely made a good relay throw to Cade, and, we got him at third. But it was just, good baseball game.
So now Rangel has given everything he had to try and get the win in Game 1. You face elimination tonight. Who do you put on the mound? And is he very similar in style to what Rangel is?
We're going with Cade Langford, our shortstop. We've really had 1 and 1A all year. I don't really consider him a 1 and a 2. They're just 1 and 1A. They've been our guys all year, and we're going to go with Cade. And if he's on, he's hard to hit. And he's going to compete. He's a competitor, and he's got 3 pitches to throw him for a strike. And we'll see. He's been successful all year for us. Again, that team over there is a pretty stinking good team. So we got to play. We got to get them out 21 times tonight. So we'll see what happens. That's why you play the game.
All right, I appreciate it. That is Mike Barrow, and I know you want me to say see you tomorrow. If your team gets the victory, then we'll be back here at high noon at Stratford.
Absolutely. We'll be here tomorrow at noon, sweating our tails off. That's the goal.
All right, we'll have the starting lineups for you. We're at the ball field where these Westside Wolves won in round 1 over Stratford. So they probably feel pretty good about being here. We'll be back with the starting lineups. I already said that, didn't I? And the first pitch on VypeFortBend.com.
First Iron Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Iron Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firstironauto.com for great savings. The First Iron Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. FirstTireAuto.com.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
All right, here are your starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting team tonight, your Ridgepoint Panthers. Leading off and playing second base for the Panthers is Zion Stevens. Parker Martin at third base, bats second. Justin Vossas is the shortstop and bats third. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Travis Vlasic. J.J. Kennett batting fifth and catching. Carter Groen in left field, bats sixth. Batting seventh, it's the right fielder, Owen Ferris. Will Baker, the designated hitter, batting in place of the starting pitcher for your Ridgepoint Panthers tonight, right-hander Kellen Gradisar. And Blaine Ryan, the speedy one in center field, bats ninth for Ridgepoint. For Westside, it's Michael Fisk in center field and leading off. Cameron Farley playing second base and bats second. Batting third, it is their catcher, Peter Smith. Cade Langford is the pitcher, and he hits cleanup. Cooper Langford, his brother, is at first base, and he bats fifth. Batting sixth, it's Nathan Ronquel. He's at the hot corner third base. Last night he was on the mound, and he was magnificent. Just could not quite get the win, as it was 2-1 Ridgepoint in 8 innings in Game 1. Gabriel Rodriguez bats seventh. He is the shortstop. Ike Rodriguez is in left field and batting eighth. Brett Plank is batting ninth. He is the DH in place of the right fielder, Trace Mobley. Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Championship starting Wednesday, June 8th at UFCU Dishwalk Field in Austin and Dell Diamond in Round Rock. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org. We'll be back with the first pitch right after this on VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports. But one thing I want to remind you about before we go to that break, and that is that should Ridgepoint win this evening, that means there won't be a Game 3. And if that is the case, then we'll do an 11 a.m. softball game, a dandy, absolute dandy, and a Game 2 between Santa Fe and Foster. Class 5A, that's as good as it gets in the state of Texas. So if Ridgepoint wins tonight, we'll have softball tomorrow at 11 a.m. And there's another possibility that we would have regardless of what happens in softball or in baseball tonight. And that is, if there is a Game 3 between Foster and LaPorte, it would be played at Manville. It'll start at 8 p.m., and we'll have that one for you if indeed it is played. Foster, by the way, won the Game 1 in their series. I love Sandstorm, don't you? Tonight's exclusive VypeFortBend.com presentation of the Ridgepoint Panthers in the baseball playoffs is brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome. By First Tire and Auto, 4 great Fort Bend County locations where you can get the best prices on tires, great service, anything your vehicle needs to run at its very best. All 4 locations open Monday through Saturday. Visit FirstTireandAuto.com. By Archer Volkswagen, open since 1956 and ready to serve you. Archer Volkswagen on Highway 59 South, just inside the Sam Houston Tollway. We will be right back.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3for1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
First Tire Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Tire Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for great savings. The First Tire Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. FirstTireAndAuto.com.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, OfficeMax, and OfficeDepot.com.
We want to thank the folks at Office Depot, Southwest Freeway at William Trace in Sugar Land. Williams Trace. I've only lived in this area 20 years. At Williams Trace and I-59. It's not even I-59. It's US 59. I'm going to start over. We want to thank the folks at the Office Depot, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace in Sugar Land for taking care of business every day so we can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. It's been our pleasure to do it all the way back into August when Ridge Point won a volleyball match. I can't remember who they beat, but they beat everyone from Katy. I know it was from someone from Katy. Anyway, it was about 120 plus broadcasts ago, and here we are. We have 4 teams still alive that we follow: Fulshear, Foster baseball and softball, and the Ridge Point Panthers. But of course, our heart is, well, it would be disrespectful to say we have a purple heart, because, you know, that's only for the elite. But anyway, we're here. We could be lots of other places, but we're right here. So I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Cade Langford, the right-hander, is on the mound for the Westside Wolves to try and save their season. Ridge Point is going to try to get the best of him and come away with a victory and march on to the 3rd round of the baseball playoffs. And Zion Stevens, the right-handed hitter, leads it off against Langford.
Up the bat.
Stevens is 1 for 6 in the playoffs. He's scored a run. He's got 3 walks. His on-base percentage is .444. And here's the first pitch. And he hits it high in the air toward left center field, and back is Fisk. He's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Good fan bases from both sides. There are more filled seats than there are empty seats, I'll tell you that much. Now it is Parker Martin, the left-handed hitter, stepping in. And we're at Stratford, and I want to describe the ballpark here. Heavy shift toward the right against Parker Martin. The first pitch tails away. Ball 1 outside to Parker Martin, who is 2 for 8 in the playoffs. Langford rocks and brings it. And that is hit a fly ball to right field. It's Mobley going back. He's chasing it, and it's down. And it one-hops the wall. Martin is going to go to second and stop right there. Last night he had a double, tried to stretch it to a triple, got thrown out at third, and he's not going to take the same risk this time. But he's now hitting 300, or make it 333 in the playoffs with that base hit. Now Justin Vasas. You know what? I've been looking at the wrong numbers. I brought out 2 pages, and I was looking at the wrong one. So let's see here. Vossas 6 for 14 with 4 RBIs, a triple, a double, 1 for 1 in stolen bases, and he's laid down a sacrifice bunt. And he looks at a curveball. It's down and away. 1-0 on Justin Vossas. And as for Parker Martin, he is now 4 for 11. He's hitting .360 in the postseason, so I shortchanged him. Vossas crowding the plate from the right-handed batter's box, swings and misses, swings right over a curveball, and it's 1-1. Vossas, a Texas A&M commit. Bright sunlight coming over the left field fence, which that's not usually where you see the sun in most ballparks. That pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Down the foul lines, it's 310 feet each way, but in the left center power alley, it's 355 feet, 360 to the right center power alley, and 375 to straightaway center. Pitch on the way. Vossas rips at another curveball and comes up empty. It's 1-2. They have a fence here at Stratford that is, I think it's 14 feet high, but it doesn't extend all the way across. Curveball hammered into left field for a base hit. Parker Martin at third. He's being waved home. Here comes the relay from Ron Hell. He won't throw. And it's 1-0 Ridgepoint. Justin Vossas, an RBI single to drive home Parker Martin. So that is just how Ridgepoint wanted to get started. So across that outfield fence, Derry Ashford, a very busy street, is just beyond the left field fence. So it's got that high fence that goes all the way past dead center and to the right center power alley and then straight down, and then it's only 7 or 8 feet tall the rest of the way. Here is now the pitch to Travis Vlasic. He swings and fouls one off. It is 0-1. Travis Vlasic is 4 for 13 in these playoffs with a double, a walk, and 2 RBIs. Justin Vossas, as we mentioned while he was batting, is 1 for 1 stealing bases in the postseason. So they throw over to try and keep him close. Tag applied by Cooper Langford. So when Cade, the pitcher, throws over to first, he's throwing it to his bro. Vlasic digs in, pitch on the way. Checked his swing, but it's a strike on the outside corner anyway. Stratford is a wonderful place to watch a ball game. And we've got the sun going behind a cloud, so everybody's feeling comfortable now. Another throw over, very close. Vossas was leaning toward second, but he is safe. Meanwhile, back in the batter's box, 0-2 on Travis Vlasic. Cowbells are in the ballpark. Here's the 0-2. Outside, it was a pitch out, and Vossas kind of bluffed a move but went scurrying back. There's another quick throw over, and I'll tell you what, Cade Langford, for a right-hander, is pretty good at that quick move over to first. Ridgepoint, 2-1 winners last night in 8 innings. Curveball, and that's hammered down the left field line. It is very, very high. Going back is Ike Rodriguez, and he makes the catch about 5 feet from the fence. Well, he gave it a ride. But what we have learned thus far in this series is that Ike Rodriguez's glove is where hits go to die. So Vossas still at first base, and now it is J.J. Kennett, the catcher. J.J. 2 for 11 in postseason at bats. He's driven in a run. There's another throw over, and it's close again. Vossas is flirting with disaster over there. Here comes the pitch, and that is hammered down the left field line, driving Rodriguez back, and of course, He caught it. He catches everything. Well, the Ridge Point Panthers get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. Friday night is all right for baseball, and we'll be back on VypeFortBend.com. What happened to the music? There we go.
Okay, I got it.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
First Iron Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Iron Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firstironauto.com for great savings. The First Iron Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. First
On the mound for your Ridge Point Panthers. He got the win in Game 2, a game the Panthers had to win on Saturday against Seven Lakes. He's got that 1 start through the complete game. 7 innings pitched in that one, 89 pitches, 63% of them for strikes. He gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned, 3 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. And he delivers to Michael Fisk. First pitch swinging, and off the end of the bat, nubbed over to the on-deck area on the right side. Ridge Point players are in the first base dugout. They're the visiting team. And Westside, who won in their opening round series against Stratford right here at this ballpark, positioned on the third base side. Gradisar winds and brings it. Curveball just inside. By the way, here at Stratford, you have 2 rows of theater-type seats in front of the bleachers, and they are filled with students, and that's the way it should be. We love that. The 1-1 just inside, and it's 2-1. Ridge Point has more kids here than Westside, although both sides pretty well represented. And a lot of softball players from the Ridge Point team. Pitch from Gradisar, and it's just high and away. Very, very close, but the count goes to 3-1. Fisk ready, rocks and fires. Swung on and grounded foul on the left side. Those are some great seats if you can get here early enough to get one of the theater seats. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on high in the air in foul ground. Moving over is the first baseman, Vlasic, and he's got it. First man retired. Now it is Cameron Farley, the second baseman.
Bat for the Wolves. 10, Kevin Farley.
Lefty hitter. Where's number 10? Very much an open stance. Gradisar delivers. Fastball, somehow it missed, maybe a little bit low. Our home plate umpire tonight is Andrew Pena. Lenny Amaya on the right side of the infield And over near third base, it is James Pratt. Here's the 1-0, and it's a soft liner into left field. Serving it out there by Farley. And a single to get Westside started. Trying to match that one run that Ridge Point pulled off in the top of the first. Peter Smith, no relation to Bois as far as I know. 88 degrees is our game time temperature, and Kellen Gradisar feeling a little bit of heat right here. As with one out, he allows a base runner. There's a throw over, and it is Farley diving back in. Gradisar giving him a look. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, caught the inside corner. Smith had a double last night. He was 1 for 2 and drew a walk. There's another throw over, and Ridge Point could have gotten him, but the throw gets past Vlasic. And now he's going to go all the way from first to third, or try, and he's out! Farley is out! Magnificent play by Travis Vlasic. And that's one of those things that tells you maybe the baseball gods are just thinking that, you're living right. Wow, that caught stealing goes 1 to 3 to 5. I believe Gradisar's throw was kind of wild. Vlasic had to chase it into the ample foul territory, and there are 2 outs. And now Smith looks at a curveball, just missed the inside corner. So Gradisar threw wild to first. Vlasic ran it down, and Farley kept on going to third, but when he got there, he was tagged out. And now Parker Martin, the 2-hopper, bobbles it, throws late, and safe. So E5, and that puts a man on, and so Ridge Point is very, very fortunate that they haven't given up a run, or they're also fortunate that they don't have a one-out situation and a couple of runners on. Now it is Cade Langford, the pitcher. Last night, Cade was 0 for 2, but he did walk. Not much wind to speak of. What little we have is blowing straight out to center field. Make that right center. Throw over, and they picked him off! Peter Smith, or not Peter Smith, but Hanley, the courtesy runner for Smith, is picked off. Wow, what a strange inning. As in the bottom of the inning, there's no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and no man left. And Gradisar faced the minimum. So we will go to the second inning. Ridge Point 1 and Westside nothing in Game 2 on VypeFortBend.com.
Coming in at 5'3", it's #1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
I'd like to thank the head baseball coach of Stratford, that's Keith Humphreys, for being such a great host. They got a great ballpark, just an absolute perfect surface. It is natural grass, but it is smooth and cut short. Very fast, very true. And you know what? His big brother is the head coach of the Tompkins Falcons. And the Tompkins Falcons beat Lamar last night, and they might win their first-round playoff series. And so, if Ridgepoint wins this series, they could end up right back here at Stratford. Now Carter Groen stands in, looks at a curveball, started to pull the trigger, but laid off, but it's called a strike. Carter Groen had a frustrating night at the plate last night, but he drove in the game winner. A sacrifice fly to win it in the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Swings, and that's a pop-up on the infield, and it's the first baseman, Langford, giving way to the second baseman, that being Farley. Farley squeezes it for out number 1. They have thunder sticks in the Ridgepoint student section. You may hear them early and often. Now it's Owen Ferris, the right fielder. Ferris is looking to put together a string of hits in one game. And the first pitch to him is high. 1-0. Langford rocks and fires. Curveball caught the outside corner. Westside didn't have to travel too far to get to this game. Just come, I guess, a little bit east on Briar Forest, hit Derry Ashford, and you're right here. And they carpooled and truck-pooled to tonight's game just like last night's. They appealed down to the first base umpire on that pitch where Ferris checked his swing. And Mr. Amaya says no swing. So the count's 2-1. Right-handed hitting Ferris looks at that one. That one is definitely outside. So it's 3-1. Will Baker waiting to bat next. Ridgepoint wearing the white pants with the purple piping on each leg and the purple jersey tops. Swing and a miss by Ferris, and the count goes to 3-2. Ferris steps back in, slightly open stance. Cade Langford brings it. And it's off the end of the bat, slow roller toward short. Scooped up by Rodriguez, throws late. Ferris beats it out for a single, the third hit of the game for the Panthers. Now here is Will Baker. And the way he's been playing, and this is just his fourth game. No varsity experience. They put him in the hitting lineup for games 2 and 3 against Seven Lakes, which Ridgepoint won to survive. He was in the lineup last night. This is his fourth game. First pitch, curveball way high, and taken for a ball. Langford gets exactly the sign that he wants right away from Peter Smith, his catcher. Here comes the 1-0, way outside. He steps off the mound and licks the fingers to try and get a little bit better grip. It hasn't rained very much in the greater Houston area, so fields are dry, grass is short and a little crunchy. And a throw over, and safely back in is Ferris. But as it was when Vasas was leading off of first base, that's a pretty close play. Langford nods at his catcher. Now comes set. The 2-0. Baker looks at a strike at the knees. This is the second time that VypeFortBend.com has broadcasted from Stratford. The other game did not involve Ridgepoint. There's another throw over, and it's close again, but Ferris is back. Baker steps back, looks down at Coach Welch. Lefty hitter ready, swings, and just gets a piece of it. A foul tip that wriggled out of Peter Smith's mitt, and it's 2-2. 3 flags in right center, the state of Texas, the United States of America, and a green flag that I guess says Stratford. The last time I was here, it was a Chick-fil-A flag. There's another throw over, and Ferris is filthy, but he's back in. So the game that we did before was Kempner getting eliminated by Tompkins in the first round in 2019, the last amateur game ever for Simeon Woods. Curveball, and Baker fights it off, fouls it back into the screen. I say Simeon Woods because that's what his mom wants me to call him, but he is known nationwide as Simeon Woods Richardson. And he is making his way up through the minor leagues, drafted by the Mets in that year, 2019. 2-2 the count to Will Baker. Langford brings it. That is high in the air down the right field line. It is Mobley moving over. He makes the catch, and Ferris has to stay at first base. There are two away. Like to say hi to his grandma, Mom's Mobley. All right, now it is Blaine Ryan standing in for Ridgepoint. And his grandfather, Old Man River Ryan. Glad you're listening on VypeFortBend.com. Throw over, and Ferris is back yet again. So Blaine Ryan 1 for 2 last night with a double, but he had to go back to the dugout because he was thrown out at third trying to make it a triple. First pitch, swung on and fouled almost off the front of the dugout on the third base side. For me, this is the second most wonderful time of the year. Twilight is falling. They haven't turned on the lights just yet. Ryan is ready for the 0-1. There goes Ferris. Pitch outside, and the throw down won't get him. A stolen base for Owen Ferris. It turned out to be the perfect pitch to steal on because Peter Smith, excellent catcher, but he had to kind of lunge out, and he made a decent throw. Actually, if it had been right on target, it might have had maybe a 1 out of 10 chance to get the tag applied. But it is 1-1 on Ryan. Swings and misses at a curveball. It's 1-2. Cade Langford trying to match the magnificent pitching performance last night of Nathan Ronkel, who went 7 2/3 and ended up a loser. This game can be cruel. Swung on and missed at the 1-2 pitch, and Peter Smith tags out Blaine Ryan. The pitch was in the dirt. And so for Ridgepoint in the second inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We'll continue to the bottom of the second. Ridgepoint 1 and Westside nothing.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Championship starting Wednesday, June 8th at UFCU Disch-Falk Field in Austin and the Dell Diamond in Round Rock. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org. So Ridgepoint and Westside, 2 of 64 teams in the bracket, so you have to defeat 7 opponents. It's a 128-team bracket. You have to defeat 7 opponents to be crowned champions in your classification. All right, Cade Langford stands in. He was in the batter's box when the third out was made in the first, and Gradisar starts him with a fastball strike, mid-thigh, right down the middle. Righty versus righty, and Gradisar deals. Breaking ball, a little tapper back to Gradisar. Easy play, over to Vlasic, one away. So Cade Langford was in the batter's box when Peter Smith led off of first. There was a pickoff attempt by Gradisar. It was kind of a wild throw. Travis Vlasic chased it down, threw over to third, and Parker Martin tagged out the courtesy runner, Haney. So I shouldn't have said Smith. He's the catcher, and he had a courtesy runner. Now it is Cooper Langford, Cade's brother, and there's a curveball that just misses the inside edge of the plate. Another righty-righty matchup, and the count is 1-1 on Cooper Langford. Here comes the pitch. A little bit below the knees. Over the plate, however. Two and one the count. Gradisar rocks and fires. That's off the end of the bat, sliced over the screen, over near the back of the football bleachers. Everything at Stratford is forest green. Very handsome primary color. Gradisar brings it. That pitch is up and away. And it's now 3-2. Cooper Langford last night was 1 for 2, and he also drew a walk. Swings and misses at the payoff pitch. And down he goes. First strikeout for Gradisar. Nathan Ronkel. Westside fans should just give him a hand just for standing in the batter's box. What a great pitching performance last night. Great to have a guy like that on your team. First pitch to Ronkel, curveball downstairs, 1-0. Gradisar rocks and brings the 1-0. Swing and a miss, and I think that bit Kennett. A little foul tip, and it got him somewhere, I don't know where, but he's walking in circles. But now he's back in his crouch. He's a gamer, just like Ronkel, but Ronkel knows the protocol. When a guy possibly got hit in a vulnerable area, you just take a little time, you walk down to your third base coach, you talk to him. That is respect for the game and respect for your opponent. I like that Nathan. He's a good guy. I don't even know him, but he's a great guy, I can tell. Here's the 1-1. Downstairs. Kennett looking none the worse for wear. Here's the 2-1. Swing and just got a piece of it. It's 2-2. Very little foul territory right behind home plate here at Stratford. So if you get a wild pitch or a pass ball, it could get a good carom, and it might not be a good idea to try and score if you're a base runner at third. Curveball down and away, couldn't get Ronkel to chase. And for the second time this inning, Gradisar goes to a full count on a hitter. The payoff pitch. Little tapper over the mound. Vasas on 2 hops, fires to Vlasic. Got him by 2 steps. So a 1-2-3 inning for Kellen Gradisar. He has faced the minimum. And we'll go to the top of the third. Ridgepoint 1, Westside nothing.
Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From media day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it to be. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out how to join Vype Campus today.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
Going to the top of the third. His name sounds like heaven. Zion Stevens, the leadoff hitter. And the first pitch from Langford is a curveball that misses away. Good read by Zion. Now the sun has peeked out from underneath the clouds, so before it fades behind those buildings beyond the left field fence, we're going to have to squint. Here's a pitch, popped up into center field. Moving back is Fisk, and he's got it. Zion Stevens has been swinging at the first pitch, and he flies out to center field for the second time. Parker Martin, who doubled and came around to score in the first inning on the Justin Vasas RBI single, stands in. So he's now for 4 for 11 on the postseason. Pitch to the lefty, takes outside corner strike. Martin digs back in. Langford brings it way outside. Peter Smith flags it down. One to nothing is our score. Roger Smith and the silent partner Les Clary, producer extraordinaire in the mothership at Vype World headquarters, off the end of the bat as Martin fouls it back. 1-2 the count. So we have an early report on the Foster-Laporte Game 2 being played at Foster, and no score between the Falcons and the Bulldogs. Foster won last night 8-6. The 1-2 to Martin. Curveball right down the middle. It throws him, and he's down on strikes. Second strikeout for Cade Langford. 2 away. I got so much stuff that I put in my pocket during the day. I got to get it out of there because some of it has information on it. Pitch to Vasas is upstairs for a ball. Vasas 7 for 15 in the postseason. Here's the pitch. Curveball missed. Langford is ready. Looks over the top of his glove and now brings it to Vasas upstairs, and it's 3-0. Vasas is capable of hitting home runs, and I wouldn't be surprised if the way he's been hitting, maybe Coach Welch would let him go ahead and swing if he sees something he likes. He took it inside corner strike. It's 3-1. Not my style, said JV. Here's the 3-1, and it's lined into center field and down for a hit in front of Michael Fisk. Wow, 8 for 16. By the way, Justin Vasas has a mom named Shannon, dad named Harlan, and his teammate Hunter Nichols, who pitched 7 innings last night, also has a mom named Shannon. They may be the two best senior teammates on a Texas high school team, both with moms named Shannon. And they were working hard to try and pick off Vasas the first time he was on, and Langford makes a throw over as Travis Vlasic stands in. 2 outs. Vasas is the runner at first. He's got 2 hits tonight, and it's 1-0 Ridge Point, top of the third. Breaking ball, and Vlasic lays off. Outside, ball 1. Travis is 4 for 14. And this is Ridge Point's 5th playoff game of 2022. Here's another throw over. Vasas is back in. The lights are on now, and the sun is fading fast over the left field wall. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, and just a slight foul tip by Vlasic. 1-1. He did a great job adjusting to a slow curveball. He didn't recognize it until it was more than halfway there, and slowed the swing down and got a piece of it. Here's the 1-1, and he fouls it back almost to the top of the screen. It's a tall screen. I'm guessing 50 feet. Tomorrow, if there's a Game 3 in this series, we'll have it for you. Batter Up show at 11:40 a.m. 1-2 the count on Travis Vlasic. Here's the pitch. There goes Vasas, and it's a foul ball grounded on the left side. So if there is no Game 3 in this series, we'll have an 11 a.m. softball game between Santa Fe and Foster. That's going to be awesome. Probably the best matchup in the state in Class 5A. Maybe the best matchup, period. The best third-round matchup in the softball playoffs. Here's the 1-2. There goes Vasas. Check swing, and it's a called strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cade Langford, and we'll go to the bottom of the third. Ridge Point leads 1-0 over Westside on VypeFortBend.com.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
It'll be Gabriel Rodriguez, Ike Rodriguez, and Brett Plank, the 7-8-9 hitters for Westside, as they bat in the bottom of the third. Ridge Point leading 1-0, and the Panthers trying to finish off a sweep in this best-of-3 series. You know, I mentioned earlier that Foster beat LaPorte 8-6 in their opener, and Foster leads that series 1-0. An early report from my good friend Mary Barnes in Richmond says that there's no score yet between Foster and LaPorte. Fulshear, by the way, beat Crosby at Crosby 8-0 last night to tie up that series, and they're playing the decisive Game 3 tonight. All right, Gradisar ready to work. Brings it to Gabriel Rodriguez. First pitch swinging, grounded foul, a high chopper that rolls way down into that short grass near the foul pole. Had a lot of overspin on it. Gabriel Rodriguez 0 for 2 last night, but he did score a run. The only run of the game for Westside, and he drew a walk. Gradisar delivers. Curveball swung on and missed. That was a 12-6 breaking ball. The old Uncle Charlie, the hook. Gradisar winds and brings the 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. That's his second strikeout, the first of the looking variety. And now it's Ike Rodriguez. And at Westside, they like Ike. Righty to righty, Gradisar brings it. Just missed the outside corner. Kennett tried to frame it. And the home plate umpire, Andrew Pena, wasn't buying it. Gradisar rocks and brings it. That's a high fly ball to center field, and it's sending Parker Martin way back, just over his glove, and one hops the wall. It's going to be a double and a beauty by Ike Rodriguez. So the tying run is at second with one out. And now it is Brett Plank, the DH. Plank last night was 0 for 3. Lefty hitter does not wear gloves. Here's the pitch. Upstairs for a ball. Gradisar has allowed a runner to get to second base for the second time. The 1-0 to Plank. Right down Derry Ashford for a strike, 1-1. Slightly open stance by Plank. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball right down the middle. Wow, Gradisar is really getting that late movement. Tough to know where it's going to end up. It's 1-2 on Plank. The 1-2. Got him on the swing and miss. Third strikeout. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Third strikeout for Gradisar. Now back to the top of the order. And even though it's only the third inning, this could be huge. You have the tying run at second base in the person of Ike Rodriguez, and now it is Michael Fisk. First pitch to him, breaking ball, catches the outside edge, burned it off. Fisk was 0 for 1, but he walked twice in the opener last night. Here's the 0-1. Down and away. Gradisar looked like he put that right where he wanted to, perhaps inducing a chase, but Fisk wasn't biting. Here's the 1-1, and it's a line drive to Zion Stevenson. It skips past him. It's not going to score a run. Here's the throw coming in from center field. Nice throw by Parker Martin. So on the play, and considering the fact that there are 2 outs, I don't know why in the world Ike Rodriguez hesitated. You got to go on contact, but he hesitated a little bit, and that's why I said early on that he's not going to score. But I think we got to give a hit to Fisk on a ball that had some wicked spin on it. And now it is Farley with runners at the corners and 2 outs. He's singled. Here's the first pitch to him. Tailing fastball in there for a strike. And the fans are really getting into it. It's a beautiful thing. Farley looks at a curveball. That is also a called strike. 0-2. Gradisar ready, trying to ignite the Thundersticks. Here's the 0-2. There goes the runner, and it's out into left field. Groen went back. Now it came in, and it drops, and the game is tied. Groen was backing up. He thought it was over his head, and it had top spin on it, and it goes in for a single. Ike Rodriguez scores, and we are tied at 1. On the play, Fisk moves over to third, and Farley is getting a fist bump from his first base coach after driving in the equalizer. Now it is Peter Smith. Runners at the corner still with 2 outs and a pitch that went way wide. Kennett slid over like a goalie to keep it in front of him. Westside fought like terriers last night. And they plan to come back here for a game 3 tomorrow. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, fouled off the screen. And the count is 1-1 on Peter Smith. Things get a little bit quiet, but it won't be that way for very long. Gradisar looks over at first. Here's the 1-1. Smith looks at that one, and it's way outside. You don't want to do the intentional walk and load the bases for Cade Langford, but he waits on deck. Here's the 2-1. And it's high in the air to right field. It's going to be a long run, and caught by Stevens. It was either going to be Stevens or the right fielder Ferris. All right, so Ridge Point gets out of there, but not without giving up a run. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men were left. We're going to the top of the 4th. 1-1, Ridge Point and Westside.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Welcome back for Ridge Point Panthers. For J.J. Kennett.
J.J. Kennett to lead off for Ridge Point in the top of the 4th in a 1-1 game. The hits are also even at 4. First pitch to J.J. is a breaking ball, high and away. He flied out to left field his first time. Langford rocks and brings the 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. As you can see, as you can hear rather, there's a diversity of opinion on whether a ball is a strike or a ball. That one catches the outside corner, and it's now 2-1 on J.J. J.J., the unlikely winning pitcher, came in to throw the 8th inning and ended up being the winning pitcher. Here's the 2-1. Strike on the outside corner, and the count is even 2-2. Carter Groen drove in Landry Ham from third base on a sacrifice fly to make it a 2-1 Ridgepoint win. Kennett just gets a piece of a curveball, and he had to lunge at that one. It was breaking further and further away from the strike zone as it approached him. The sun is all the way down. Beautiful night at Stratford High School. Here's the 2-2, and it's high for a 3-2 count. Langford brings the payoff pitch. That is grounded toward third, backhanded by Rangel on 2 hops, and what a beautiful play! Rangel firing across the diamond. Looks like he can do that in his sleep.
Number 17, Groen.
Now Carter Groen, the aforementioned deliverer of the sacrifice fly to win last night's game. Langford brings it, and he lines it over shortstop and into the left center field gap. Groen is coming around first, and he's going to go to second. Here he comes, sliding in safe. Keeps his foot on the bag. He almost lost his balance, and a double for Groen. You know, I thought I saw him slowing down as if he was going to go back to first, and maybe Coach Michael Dudka, the assistant and the first base coach over there, was just saying, "Go!" or something to that effect. And Groen is at second base with 1 away. And now Owen Ferris, 1 for 1 with a second inning single. Looking at Langford, righty to righty. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down and away. Langford is going with a lot more breaking balls now. Ferris ready. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball missed upstairs. Not to the liking of the Westside fans. Groen taking a fairly healthy lead off second. Here's the pitch. Ferris taps it foul, and it rolls over in front of the dugout on the third base side. The Wolves wearing their black and camo gray jersey tops with the white pants. Two and one, the count on Owen Ferris. Now a turnaround and a throw back to second, and back in easily is Groen. Plus the throw went to the second baseman, Farley, and it kind of tailed away from him. And I think Westside is lucky that ball didn't end up in right center field. And now Ferris gets tired of waiting, and he asks for time. That's the first time that's happened tonight. But you know, tonight, I don't really care if it happens because there's no school tomorrow. Here's the 2-1. Downstairs, and a 3-1 count on Owen Ferris. Ferris looks down at head coach Clinton Welch in the third base box. Groen leads off of second. Here's the 3-1, breaking ball, upstairs, ball 4. Runners at first and second with 1 away. And Ridgepoint trying to break the 1-1 tie.
Up the bat, 26, Will Baker.
First walk for Cade Langford, and now Coach Mike Barrow wants to go out to the mound and have a little come to Jesus meeting. And they're playing the Peter Gunn theme from the Blues Brothers. I love this thing. By the way, thank you, Les Clary, for a score in Class 5A area round. Friendswood just outclassing Waltrip. It is 12-0 in a game that's going to go to the Mustangs and result in a 2-game sweep.
On the field, up the bat.
All right, Will Baker.
Will Baker.
Lefty hitter with the Joe Namath white shoes. Whatever they talked about, we'll see if Langford executes. And before we see the first pitch, we'll see a look back at second, and Groen just walks back to the bag. It's one of those lift the lead leg, but then pivot back towards second. Pitch to Baker, down and away, ball one. Will last night was 0 for 3, but on the playoffs he's, let's see, he is now 2 for 9. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike at the knees. Game 2 of an area round series. It's the second round. Ridgepoint trying to make it to the top 32 still left in the Class 6A bracket. The 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1 on Will Baker. He's got kind of a twitchy style to him when he steps out of the batter's box. He's kind of moving those shoulders around, tugging at the jersey. Bounces a little bit as he waits for the ball to get there. Here comes the 2-1, and he takes a strike. The count is even at 2. The wind looks like it's starting to pick up. We're not feeling it in the stands, but it's blowing out toward right center. Langford looks back at Groen. Runners first and second. And there is one sent out to left center field. It's going to be trouble, and it gets down. Groen had to hold up, and he gets to third and stops. He had to make sure the ball wasn't going to be caught. But the bases are loaded with one out on a single by Will Baker. His third hit of these playoffs.
Up the bat for the Panthers, number 9, Blaine Ryan.
All right, Blaine Ryan can run for a long time. But wait a minute, he's being lifted for a pinch hitter. And it's Tyler Martin.
Correction, batter for the Panthers. 3.
All right, Parker's little bro steps into the right-handed batter's box. And Coach Clinton Welch is not afraid to put people into high-leverage situations like he did Landry Ham last night, who drew a walk and scored the winning run. And here is Tyler Martin, top of the fourth, trying to break a 1-1 tie. Pitch on the way, breaking ball outside, 1-0. Tyler, a right-handed hitter who wears that white compression sleeve on his right arm. Built kind of like David Eckstein of the Cardinals used to be. Swing and a foul straight back. A nice healthy cut by Tyler Martin. You know, that might be the same build that David Eckstein has now. You never know. He's retired. Tyler looks down there at Coach Welch. Groen represents the go-ahead run at third base. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball in there. It's 1-2. Martin kicking the dirt, digging back in, crowding the plate from the right box. And stepping off is Langford. Just a few puffy clouds overhead. Beautiful evening falling. And a high leverage situation. Called third strike. A curveball and a beauty by Langford. And down goes Martin for the second out. And back to the top, Zion Stevens, and talk about high leverage. Now, it's still early, but in these playoff games, especially a potential elimination game, what's happening right here can be the very biggest thing. Curveball down in the dirt. Stevens has flied out twice. This place is dang near filled up. It's great to see. Great baseball season on the line for the Westside Wolves. Langford ready to bring it to Stevens. The 0-1 upstairs, 1-1. You know, they call that first pitch a strike. And now the umpire turns around and says it is 2-0. Thank you very much. I thought I was right about that. And Andrew Pena, our home plate umpire, gave me a daily affirmation. Not by Stuart Smalley. Here's the 2-0. And that's high in the air. Won't carry. It's the right fielder, Mobley, moving over. He's got it. Ridgepoint leaves them loaded. And we're still tied, 1-1 going to the bottom of the fourth. This is VypeFortBend.com.
That's the third out, middle of the fourth inning. Westside coming up to bat.
Peter can't keep popping up every time.
First Tire and Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Tire and Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for great savings. The First Tire and Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. FirstTireandAuto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Westside's got to be fired up. They were able to leave the bases loaded or force Ridgepoint to leave the bases loaded. We are still tied at 1, and we're going to the bottom of the fourth. Cade Langford stands in. First pitch from Kellen Gradisar, breaking ball way upstairs. Gradisar built a little bit like the former Pirates pitcher Kent DeCulvey. Here's the 1-0. Not quite as tall as DeCulvey, as the second pitch is high for ball 2. Here's the 2-0. Outside corner strike, 2-1. You know, DeCulvey was one of those guys, you could use him to get the football out of the storm sewer. You know, each guy held a foot and lowered him down there. And before we see the 2-1 pitch, Langford asked for time. Cooper Langford on deck. Here's the 2-1, and it hit him in the upper left arm. First hit by pitch of the night by either team. Hi, Ms. Mack. That is the mom of former Ridgepoint Panther, Jared Mack. All right, Cooper Langford comes up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's going to try to square and bunt, but he pulls the bat back, and it's a curveball, strike on the outside corner. Ridgepoint has had a lot more activity. In fact, their leadoff man, Zion Stevens, just batted for the 3rd time, and now Cooper Langford just batting for the 2nd time as there's a throw over and Cade is back. So Ridge Point's had a lot of sound and fury, but they've only been able to come up with one run, and we're tied at 1. Breaking ball right back to Gradisar. Scoops, fires to Vlasic. They get the man out. Cooper Langford, a perfect sack bunt. And at second base is his brother Cade.
Langford advances to second base.
Now Nathan Rangel. You know, Tommy Lasorda used to call Oral Hershiser the Bulldog, which is funny because he didn't look anything like a Bulldog. Not that Nathan does, but he epitomizes the spirit of the Bulldog. Curveball upstairs to Nathan Rangel. Looks down there at Mike Barrow in the third base coaching box. Gives the signal. Ready for the 1-0. Up and in. Rangel grounded out to the shortstop Vasas in inning number 2. Westside fans want it bad. Here's the 2-0. Down and away, it's 3-0 on Nathan Rangel. Looks down at Coach Barrow. Here's the 3-0. Takes a strike right down the middle, and it's 3-1. Gabriel Rodriguez waiting to bat next for the Wolves. Gradisar steps off. Now comes set. The runner at second is Cade Langford. Here's the 3-1. Rangel swings and misses at a pitch that would have been ball 4. It was high, but now the count is full. I hear thunder sticks. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a high fly ball to center. It is deep. Going back is Martin. He looks up and he makes a brilliant catch. He gets it back in and coming all the way around third and almost passing it up is Cade Langford. So Langford smartly waiting for Parker Martin to go back and get that. I'm sorry, Blaine Ryan. I blew that one. Blaine Ryan. My goodness, sorry about that. Blaine. Wow, what a catch. So Blaine Ryan makes the miracle catch to prevent a run. That's the second out. But on the play, Langford moves to third. And now it'll be up to Gabriel Rodriguez, or will it? Yep, it will. I was just wondering if they might make a pinch hitting move. Just a second. The public address guy is talking about McIntosh. Okay, so McIntosh is the runner. No, wait a minute. Yeah, somebody's running for Cade Langford, and I'm looking at my Westside roster. I don't see anyone named McIntosh. Maybe they added somebody during the day today. I was looking at the roster I had last night. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Gabriel Rodriguez. Gradisar winds and brings him the first pitch. High for ball 1. Things are so loud here, I got to adjust my volume a little bit so we don't overmodulate. The 1-0 swung on and missed. Gradisar goes from the windup with just the one runner at third. Up and in, 2-1. I've got Jacob Murillo as number 27 for Westside, and I think that's the number of the courtesy runner down there. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball to Vasas, 2 hops. He's going to get his man, pulls Vlasic off the bag. No! Vlasic stretched out, kept the toe on the bag. Westside fans thought he was pulled off. So Westside leaves the go-ahead run. I got to turn everything down. It's getting loud here. So Westside leaves the go-ahead run at third. Mike Barrow is arguing with the infield umpire on the right. That's Lenny Amaya. He's not going to win the argument. Out at first, and the 4th inning is over. We're still tied at 1.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
I have a new favorite non-Fort Bend ISD home public address announcer, and he's the guy up in there in the press box here at Stratford's ballpark. All right, so with an extra apology to Blaine Ryan in center field, who made a great catch to keep this game tied. It was a deep, deep, deep drive off the bat of Nathan Ronquel. And now here we go with Parker Martin, the guy that I thought was in center field for a second. He's leading off against Cade Langford to start the 5th in a 1-1 game. Pitch on the way. Curveball in there, strike 1. Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust the volume. Things are really getting loud, and they're getting kind of contentious. Fans kind of chirping back and forth at each other. The 0-1 to the left-handed hitting Parker Martin flies outside for ball 1. They shade Parker Martin to hit the ball slightly the other way and pretty shallow in the outfield. He's 1 for 2 with a double, and he swings and sends that to left center field. A long run by the center fielder. Fisk got it for the first out. 1 away now, and it is Justin Vasas, and Westside has to be happy to see Vasas come up with the bases empty.
Batter for the Panthers, number 8, Justin Vasas.
And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Vasas. 0-1. Here's the 0-1, and it hits Vasas in the left buttock, and he goes to first base with 1 away. Each team with one hit by pitch. Now Travis Vlasic comes up. Now Travis Vlasic steps in as I text one of my score hunters. Now it's Travis Vlasic, and that's up and in. Just missed him. Looks like it missed him by less than an inch. Vlasic is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Langford licks the fingers, which the umpires have told the pitchers they can do tonight. Vossas leading off of first. Here's a throw over, and whenever Vossas is on first base, Cade Langford has paid a lot of attention to him. They're banging their feet on the bleachers. It's a beautiful sound, and Vlasic hits one high in the air to right field. It's Mobley finding it, catching it, and there are 2 outs, and Vossas retreats to first. Now J.J. Kennett.
Batter for the Ridge Point Panthers, number 4, J.J. Kennett.
J.J. hitless in 2 trips, a fly out and a ground out. Kennett ready, but first a throw over, and Vossas is back in. Vossas stretching that lead. And that pitch is in there for a strike. No, it was down low for a ball. Kennett wears those purple socks high, so high that you can see his kneecaps, and another throw over to try and get Vossas. He's back in. Somebody who's driving along Derry Ashford needs a new muffler. There's the 1-0 pitch. It's down low. Vossas is trying to steal second. He is in. And he's very lucky that the throw by Peter Smith was just a tad high. Otherwise, he would have been out. So now Vossas is in scoring position in a 1-1 game, top of the 5th. And Kennett will try to deliver. The count is 2-0. Cade Langford looking in at his catcher, Peter Smith. And time called by Kennett. And Mr. Pena, the home plate umpire, gives it to him. Vossas takes his lead. They're not doing anything to keep him close to the bag. Here's the 2-0. And that is roped to left field, and it drops. Here comes Vossas around third. Ridge Point leads. Kennett trying for second. The throw will not get him. Kennett, let's give him a double. And Ike Rodriguez of Westside. I'll tell you what, Ike Rodriguez has made every play on every ball that's come his way, and that was just a wicked shot to try and handle. Lots of top spin. He dived to try and get it, but it kicked off the heel of his glove, and that gave Kennett a chance to get to second. Kennett, being the catcher, will probably be replaced by a courtesy runner. Now Mike Barrow has asked for time, and the head coach of the Westside Wolves goes out to the mound with arms folded. And if somebody ever makes a statue of Mike Barrow based on his baseball coaching prowess, I think they'll have him standing there with his arms folded. 2-1 Ridge Point. Justin Vossas, what a night for him already. So he had 2 singles, and then he got hit by a pitch to lead off this 5th inning and came around to score on the Kennett double. And I think it's Tyler Martin running at second for Kennett, but I'm not certain. Meanwhile, it is Carter Groen in the box. Carter 1 for 2 with a double. He got to third after that double, but Ridgepoint left the bases loaded in the fourth. Now they are on top. They have out-hit Westside 7-4, and they lead it 2-1. 2 outs, runner second. Langford looks back there, brings it to Groen. Check swing, and it bounces in, and moving to third safely. It is not Tyler Martin, it is Jake Stratton. Jake Stratton, who made his varsity debut last night as a courtesy runner, comes in, and he gets from second to third. Great vision as he saw the ball skip away from the catcher, Peter Smith, just long enough to get to third. And now the pressure to make sure there's no wild pitch or pass ball, but remember, the backstop is pretty close. Here's the 1-0, breaking ball, and Carter Groen hammers it, but I think it's going to go foul, and it goes just beyond the outstretched glove of Ike Rodriguez. He almost made that play. But it's just a long strike, and Groen returns to the batter's box. You know, the way the ball jumped off of his bat, I thought it had more distance than it actually did. His little sister is in front of me. She's a freshman, plays softball, and she is videotaping his at-bat. And if he hits a bomb, they can match it up with VypeFortBend.com audio. The 1-1 on the way, and he hammered it, and he hammered it. It is deep, but it's not going to go. Rodriguez is there. Oh, he almost got all of that one. Didn't quite get under it enough. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little too excited on that one. Stratton got to third, but one runner did get home. That was Vasas as Kennett drove him in. And after 4.5 innings, Ridgepoint leads Westside 2-1. We'll be back.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Ike Rodriguez goes to the plate with his bat and his glove, which is taking a break in the dugout, is where base hits go to die. He's 1 for 1 with a double. And Kellen Gradisar goes out there. Now he has a lead to work with. First pitch, swung on and missed, and Ike Rodriguez kind of didn't really dive into that one and kind of falling backward a little bit. It was past the end of his bat. Here's the 0-1, breaking ball, just missed. Gutsy take there. Gradisar looks over the top of his glove. Kennett gives him the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. That is high to left field. Groen going back. It won't carry. He's got it. And he was about 2 arms lengths away from the fence. Right about where Rodriguez was when he caught Groen's fly ball to end the top of the 5th. But see, I learned from the Groen fly ball that didn't quite get to the fence. I learned better how to read it there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now Brett Plank, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. No, it's actually a pinch hitter for Plank. Right-handed hitter hitting for Plank, but like Plank, this guy does not wear gloves. It is Leo Boss. Leo Boss. 1-0 the count. Here it comes. Outside, Kennett tried to frame it. And wisely, the home plate umpire, Andrew Pena, knew that it was indeed outside. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss at the high heat. Tough situation for Leo Boss. Swing and a foul ball into foul ground. That's redundant, and it falls harmlessly to the grass. A long run by Vlasic and Stevens, and also Ferris. A foul ball into foul ground. Well, duh. So back to the batter's box goes Leo Boss. I never follow the astronomical signs. No, I'm sorry, astrological signs. I don't know what you are if you were born on Friday, May the 13th. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th. What sign are you if you're born today? Do you know? Is it Leo? Let me know. Okay, the research department says they don't think it's Leo. Here's the 2-2 to Leo. In the dirt for a ball. Okay. So it is Taurus, the bull. Thank you so much. Taurus, the bull, is the astrological sign of today. So not Leo. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside ball 4. The Boss takes a walk. Gradisar's got to be filled with instant regret about walking a pinch hitter for the number 9 hitter. And now back to the top, and Michael Fisk. And you don't want to take a risk with Fisk. Here's the pitch. Down and away. 1-0 on Michael Fisk. 1 for 2 with a third inning single. Down and away again. Gradisar taking a little more time between pitches, and Kennett wants to go talk to him, and Coach Welch wants to go out there and talk to him as well. We'll be back after this from Office Depot.
You are the master of the multitask, the champion of making it happen. Taking care of business is not for the faint of heart. Still, you take care of it. Taking care of business. But who takes care of you? Office Depot Office Max. We supply you, copy you, and tune you up. Members get 2% back in rewards on everything, and we mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
We want to thank the folks at Office Depot Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace in Sugar Land for taking care of business every day so we can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. All right, Fisk stands in. 1 out and a runner at first. First pitch catches the outside corner. Strike 1 from J.J. Kennett. Just so you know, I have a police officer standing in front of me and I can't see certain parts of the field. That's not a good time. Kennett brings it. Curveball misses outside, and I'm not sure what the count is. The scoreboard says 3-0, but I could have sworn one of those pitches was called a strike, and it was. 2-1 is the count. 2-1 on Fisk. Pitch on the way. In there for a strike. And they almost got the runner, Leo Boss. You know, he thought it was ball 4. He started walking towards second, and they almost threw over and got him, but he recognized his mistake. You know, there was one pitch called a strike during this at-bat that I thought was a ball, and another one vice versa, so the count is probably what it should be. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3! Fisk is down on strikes, 2 away. He can't believe it, and the fans from Westside can't either. But you know, there you go. It was a 3-2 pitch, and Granasar got a big strikeout. 2 down now, and here is Farley. I got to see the game, so I'm going to stand up to look over the cop. Here's the pitch by Granasar, breaking ball down and in.
Up batting for the 10, Kevin Farley.
Cameron Farley, open stance from the left-handed box. 2 outs, runner first, 2-1 Ridge Point. Ground ball into right field for a base hit. Leo Boss is going to stop at second. And Owen Ferris gets the ball back in quickly to Bosses. So there's a runner in scoring position. That's the tying run in the person of Leo Boss. And up comes Peter Smith.
Peter Smith.
Peter Smith is 0 for 2, but he did reach on an error in the first. Then he was picked off for the 3rd out of that inning. 2-1 Ridge Point, but they're hanging on to that lead by the skin of their teeth. Gradisar brings it. Peter Smith looks at a curve, somehow high. Ridge Point fans are upset. Can't believe that was not a strike. Gradisar steps off to the back of the mound. Gradisar looking in, gets the sign from Kinnett. Smith digging in the right-handed box. Now Gradisar steps off again. The go-ahead run is at first base. That's Farley. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, that's a strike, 1-1. Ridge Point clinging to a 2-1 lead. If they win this game, then they sweep the series. Breaking ball high, 2-1. Gradisar has fed Peter Smith a steady diet of curveballs. Gradisar comes set, comes home. Upstairs, 3-1. Peter Smith has to know, very likely he's going to get a pitch in the strike zone, and it's very gutsy for a pitcher not to throw a fastball on 3-1. Here it comes. Fastball in there, strike 2. And with 2 outs in the count, 3-2, the runners are going to be on the move with this next pitch. Smith steps out, takes a hard practice swing, and he's back in there. And before the pitch is delivered, Gradisar looks back at second base, just in case those runners started a little early. Gradisar gets the sign. Smith digs in. The payoff pitch, the runners should be moving, they're not, and it's sliced off the screen on the right side. Kind of surprised they didn't both take off. 3-2 with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Gradisar saying a little something out there now. He wants to step off. I think he was yelling something. Maybe Kinnett would go through everything. He didn't want to make a gesture it resulted in a balk. All right, here we go. 3-2. Swung on and fouled away again. Playoff pressure. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Westside facing elimination and trailing 2-1. Radisar looks in at Kennett and brings it. And it's to left field. Groen charging it, bounces in front. Here's the throw home. It's going to be close. And out at the plate! Groen to Parker Martin to J.J. Kennett. Cutting down the runner at the plate. Leo Boss has been demoted. And we'll go to the 6th. Ridgepoint still leading it 2-1.
End of the 5th inning.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
First Tire and Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Tire and Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for great savings. The First Tire and Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. FirstTireandAuto.com.
For Westside in the crazy bottom of the 5th. The final out was made and it went 7. That's Carter Groen. To 5, that's Parker Martin. To 2, that's J.J. Kennett. And they threw out Leo Boss at the plate. Awesome. Very, very exciting. And now Owen Ferris will lead things off for the Ridgepoint Panthers.
J.J. Kennett.
Right-handed hitter facing Cade Langford, who's gone all the way for Westside. First pitch, swung on and grounded foul off the front of the third base dugout, and it ricochets over to Coach Clinton Welch. And I just saw his wife, Jenny, who comes to every postseason game. But she must be nervous because she's just walking around. The 0-1 to Ferris. Langford brings it. Curveball, and just got a piece of it. But that's strike 2. Ferris now steps in. Ready for the 0-2. Langford brings it. And he just got a piece of that one. And angry is Peter Smith, the catcher. He really wished he had gloved that and completed the strikeout. Now Ferris ready for another 0-2 pitch. Here it comes. Upstairs, ball 1. Langford ready, and I think that got him in the upper arm. It did. Ferris hit by a pitch.
Battle was hit by the pitch. First base.
So Ferris is on to lead off in the 6th. And now, opportunity knocking for young Will Baker. Will Baker is 1 for 2, had a single in the 4th. Will steps out, taking a long look at Coach Welch. If Ridgepoint can get it, the next run would be an insurance run brought to you by the Needville Insurance Agency. Call them 979-793-7411. Throw over to try and get Ferris, but he's back in. Langford brings it. Ferris goes, but the pitch is fouled back into the net. Roger Smith with you on VypeFortBend.com. We think we're going to have action tomorrow, but there's a possibility we might not have any. I'll run through that for you before we finish this game. Another throw over, and Ferris gets back in. Pitch to Baker. Backs up, but it's a strike on the inside corner to the left-handed hitter. Ferris taking a cautious lead off of first. Langford brings it, and it is hammered to right field. Mobley sees it drop in front of him. Ferris is going to stop at second. Nobody out, and runners at first and second for the Panthers. By the way, I want to thank Colette Mihalis, Theron's mom, for bringing us the Ridgepoint Game Changer page. And it is live, and we can give you some details, like how many pitches each guy has thrown. I'm kind of a one-man band, and I guess there might be some people who could get all that information, but I'd rather just, you know, if you're crippled, using a crutch is not bad, so that's what I do. Now Blaine Ryan, squaring around a bunt. Offers at it, strike on the outside corner. Will Baker singled after Ferris was hit by the pitch. Ducks on the pond for Blaine Ryan, or ducks on the river if your name is Ryan. Squares to bunt again, but the 0-1 will have to wait because Langford looked back at second. Ryan is ready to bunt. Here comes the 0-1, and it's behind his head, and a great job by Peter Smith just to catch it. And good instincts by Ryan not to lean back out of the way, but just to duck. So I've used the word duck twice in this half inning in different contexts and with different meaning. The count is 1-1. Here's the pitch. And it is bunted into the air. Peter Smith makes the catch. And a beauty. One out. It went a good 25 feet behind home plate. And Peter Smith ran it down and made a sliding on his knees basket catch. So that's a BFPU for bunt foul pop-up in my scorebook to the catcher, Peter Smith. No harm done if Zion Stevens can come through with one out and runners at first and second. Ridgepoint trying to win this game and sweep their series with Westside in 2 straight. They've got the 2-1 lead, but they'd sure like to add to it. I'm sure Kellen Gradisar would love to go back to the mound with a lead of 2 or more runs. Stevens crowding the box from the right-handed side. And before we see a pitch, Langford looks back at second. It's a bluff. He's bluffing. Stevens has hit the ball in the air 3 times. Down and away with the breaking ball. Westside got the sweep over Stratford last week, and they have fought so hard against Ridgepoint. It's tough and tight. 2-1 was last night's final score as Ridgepoint won in the 8th inning in a walk-off. The 1-0 to Stevens. Down and away, 2-0. It's a warm evening, but Zion looks very cool out there. Here's the pitch, and that's downstairs, and there's going to be a throw down to third. Owen Ferris tried to take third because the ball came in the dirt. Peter Smith couldn't find it. He was looking around for it frantically, and Ferris thought it was safe to go. But Peter Smith quickly found it, threw down to Ronquel. Tag was applied, and there are 2 outs. And now the runner at second base is Will Baker. And now there's pressure on Zion Stevens. And there's a message from the Westside dugout. They walk Stevens to set up a force at all 3 bases. And it'll be Parker Martin. You know, there's one thing that I make it a point not to do. After one game, when I'm talking to Coach Welch on a Batter Up show, I don't ask him a question like whether he wanted someone to try to advance from one base to another or not. Because, you know, we never wanted to get into the blame game when you're talking about high school baseball. So Ridgepoint with runners at first and second with 2 outs, and now we have a pitching change. It is Gabriel Rodriguez. Gabriel Rodriguez coming over from shortstop, taking over for Cade Langford. The 2 will just switch places. We'll take a break. Prayer break? Yeah, that would be a good idea. We'll take a break for commercials and prayer. When we return, Ridgepoint leads it 2-1. They're batting in the top of the 6th.
Coming in at 5'3", it's #1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3for1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Whichever ball club comes away from tonight's Game 2 of this series, a loser, is going to be thinking that, you know, there's something to that Friday the 13th deal. All right, so just a little flip-flop as you got Gabe Rodriguez coming in at pitcher, and Langford goes to short. Everything else the same. Now Parker Martin doubled home the first Ridgepoint run in the first inning. I'm sorry, he doubled and scored on a Vasa single, my bad. Since then, 2 more trips to the plate with no other hits. And first pitch swinging, and it's to Langford, the shortstop. He steps on second himself, out there. Stevens slid in hard, and Langford has gone down. He's hurt. It was a very, very close play. And I know Zion Stevens didn't mean to do anything to Langford. There's no question. And you got Cooper Langford, the first baseman, wants to say a little something to Stevens. But the infield umpire on the right side, Lenny Amaya, separates the two. So the top of the 6th is over. Ridgepoint leaves a couple of men on. They miss an opportunity. And we'll proceed to the bottom of the 6th. It looks like Langford's going to be okay. And he doesn't look so much angry, but his brother Cooper does. And I'm sure you can understand. There's a lot of passion out there between the lines. All right, we'll be back. Still 2-1. Ridgepoint going to the bottom of the 6th.
First Tire and Automotive, serving Fort Bend County drivers for over 20 years, salutes and congratulates the graduating class of 2022. Wherever the road takes you, you can be sure that you'll need professional auto care along the way. First Tire and Automotive's 4 locations throughout Fort Bend County are the perfect pit stops for all of your auto repair and maintenance needs. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for great savings. The First Tire and Automotive technicians can fix all problems on any make or model. Make your appointment today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. FirstTireandAuto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
All right, so it's Cade Langford leading off for Westside to start the bottom of the 6th, and he's the one that just got spiked on that play that ended the top of the 6th. Gradisar brings him the first pitch, breaking ball down and away. Gradisar looks over the top of his glove, gets the sign, starts the windup. Here comes the 1-0. Burned off the outside corner. Strike 1. The count is even. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss at the high heat. Don't think meat, just give them the gas. And Gradisar steps off. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball away, trying to get Langford to chase, but he didn't. Gradisar ready to bring the 2-2. Fouled back into the screen. Gradisar has thrown 88 pitches and given up 6 hits and a single run that was earned. 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. Gets the sign, brings the 2-2. Called strike 3, and I think Langford knew it. No argument there. 5th strikeout of the game for Gradisar.
Cooper Langford.
Now Cooper Langford. First pitch is a breaking ball, and it catches the inside corner. Westside fans not happy. Gradisar brings it. Outside corner strike. And it's 0-2. Langford ready, here it comes. And it's a ground ball to Vasas. He scoops it, he fires, Vlasic makes the catch. Out at first, 2 away. Now Nathan Rangel. Oh, did he ever give it a ride his second time up. A deep fly ball to center field that Blaine Ryan ran down. The ball is really not carrying that much tonight. I've been surprised on a couple of them that have, well, nothing has hit off the fence. You've had a couple of balls that one hopped the wall, and if Rangel's deep drive had not been caught, it would have one hopped the wall. Gradisar brings it. Swing and a miss. More gas. Sounds like a good idea. Gradisar nods at Kennett and brings the 0-1 way outside. That one had some hot sauce on it, and it went all the way to the backstop. And Mr. Pena, the umpire, kindly picks up the ball while Kennett goes out there to talk to Gradisar. Gradisar doesn't have a baseball yet. Gradisar has one of those deliveries. There's a lot of motion, kind of like Elaine Bennis dancing on Seinfeld, and as a result, his jersey kind of blouses out all around and starts to come untucked. He nods at Kennett, brings the 1-1. And that is a line drive. Groen coming in hard, but no way he could catch that one. It drops in front of him. And a 2-out base hit for Nathan Rangel, who is 1 for 3, and by all rights should be 2 for 3, if not for a great Blaine Ryan catch. So now you got the tying run at first, and Gabriel Rodriguez comes up. J.J. Kennett had to go to the dugout for something, I'm not sure what. So here's the deal. You have Gabriel Rodriguez. He's the number 7 hitter. And what you'd really like to do is retire him so that you can get the 8 and 9 places coming up in your last chance at bat if you're Westside. If you don't get the tying run and or the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th. Gabriel Rodriguez is 0 for 2 with a looking strikeout and a ground ball to short. 2 outs. Runner at first is Rangel. Gradisar looks over at first, and Rangel comes scurrying back to the bag. Gradisar looking in, now looking at first. Rangel stretches his lead out. Pitch on the way. Fly ball to right field. Ferris backing up. It's windblown and it drops. It's a ground rule double. It's a ground rule double, and that's a break for Ridgepoint. Rangel cannot score on the ground rule double. He can only go 2 bases. Oh, that is a break for Ridgepoint. No way in the world Rangel would not have scored if that ball had bounced and then stayed in the park. But it hopped over the wall, and so there are runners at second and third, and there's still trouble for Gradisar. Meanwhile, you have a warm-up in the bullpen for Ridgepoint. By the way, Les Clary, thank you for your information. I'm turning the microphone down a little bit. All right, so Murillo is going to come in. Murillo comes in, and he's going to run for Gabriel Rodriguez. All right, now Ike Rodriguez in the batter's box. Gradisar brings it, breaking ball, high fly to short right field. Stevens out, he's got it. Whoa, Nelly, that was a close one for the Ridge Point Panthers, but we go to the 7th and they still lead it by a score of 2-1. This is VypeFortBend.com and we got Stevie Wonder. Let's stay right here.
In this Region 3 area round matchup. Current score, it's Ridge Point 2, Westside
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Coming up the bat for the Ridge Point Panthers, number 8. Bigger.
Justin Basas, as in Colossus, strides into the batter's box to lead off the top of the 7th. Ridge Point is up 2-1. And on the mound, Gabriel Rodriguez, first pitch outside for a ball. Rodriguez took over for Cade Langford and quickly got the final out in the top of the 6th. Righty to righty from the stretch. And that is a high drive toward right field. Going to hang up, I think. And it is caught out there by Mobley. Woo. Mobley kind of twisted a little bit, but no panic whatsoever as he drifted back to get under that one. The number 9 spot, by the way, will be the leadoff hitter for Westside when they bat in the bottom of this 7th inning. And now Travis Vlasic. So I guess we can close the book now on Cade Langford. 5 2/3 innings, 99 pitches, 8 hits allowed, 2 runs, both of them earned, 4 strikeouts, and he walked 2. Vlasic is down near the third base coaching box talking to Coach Welch. Oh, this is one heck of a baseball game, just like last night. But this one is a little better played. There are going to be so many plays, whichever team wins this game too, that you could say saved the game or made victory possible. All right, so Vlasic with 1 out and the bases empty steps up there. Travis is 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. He started to go after that one. Oh, what a beautiful night for baseball and what a beautiful game we have. The 0-1. Ground ball up the middle and behind second. It's knocked down by Langford. Cade got a piece of it, but all he could do was just smother it in the grass behind second base. And a single for Travis Vlasic. Now J.J. Kinnett, 1 for 3 with a double. And that double drove home the second Ridge Point run, so his run is the margin, or that run he drove home is the margin of victory if the victory actually happens. And now Jake Stratton is going to come in, and he runs for Travis Vlasic. I was talking with assistant coach Michael Dutka before the game. Wouldn't it be cool if young Jake Stratton became a catcher, which Coach Dutka says he's not going to do that. But if he was, and then Ridgepoint got a pitcher named Briggs, your battery would be Briggs and Stratton. They like to play good oldies here at Stratford. There's so many things I like about this place, and that's one of them. All right, Kennett strides into the batter's box. That's a little hyperbole. He didn't really stride. He just kind of walked the usual way. Okay. Gabe Rodriguez ready, brings it way up and in, and Kennett had to back up. And now the catcher, Peter Smith, is saying that Kennett went around. Oh, you got to be kidding me. And that's not what Mr. Pena, the umpire, said. So it's ball one. Kennett probably is very irritated about that. Let's see if he takes it out on the baseball. Here's the 1-0, and that hit him in the arm. The other one almost hit him in the chin, and now there are two runners on. Stratton moves to second. Kennett will probably come out for a courtesy runner. And Carter Groen is coming up. And by the way, after that magnificent play that ended the bottom of the fifth inning, where he retrieved a single in left field and threw to his third baseman, Parker Martin, the relay to Kennett to throw out a runner at the plate. If Phil Rizzuto, the late Phil Rizzuto, was here, he would say the kid's got an arm. Well, Groen really showed his arm. And here we go. And Gabe Rodriguez trying to keep the score at 2-1. One out, runners first and second, way outside with the first delivery. 1-0 on Groen. He's 1 for 3 and had a double in the fourth. He ended up at third, but Ridgepoint left the bases loaded in that inning. Otherwise, they might have a margin for error, but they can get some insurance runs right here. Here's the 1-0. And it is sprayed down the right field line and twisting over near the tarp tube. Mobley, the right fielder, just gives it a look. And by the way, Fisk is now the right fielder. Boss has moved to center field. Ike Rodriguez is still in left where he started. Ike Rodriguez in left, Leo Boss in center, and Fisk in right field replacing Mobley. Now the 1-1 to Groen. And it's high in the air, short right field, going out as the second baseman Farley gives way to Fisk. Fisk makes the catch. There are 2 outs. All right, this is big right here. Owen Ferris is 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles. What a break Ridgepoint got in the bottom of the sixth when a ground rule double kept Ronquel from scoring the tying run. He started the play at first, and so you only get as a base runner as many bases as the hitter gets on a ground rule double. All right, and timeout asked for by Ferris, who got tired of waiting. He's got a lot of dirt on his shirt tonight. Steps in near the back of the right-handed box. Gabe Rodriguez ready to deal. Here it comes. Way outside. Nice play, Peter Smith. He backhanded it. He couldn't get his whole body in front of that one. It was just way off to the side. And that keeps the runners at first and second. Jake Stratton is at second. And Blaine McCormick is the courtesy runner at first base, running for Kennett. Ferris looks at one, down low for a ball. 2-0. Great atmosphere for baseball. Ridgepoint trying to sweep this second round series and move on to face either Lamar or Tompkins. Here's the 2-0, and that hit him. The bases are loaded. And now it's up to Will Baker. And I think this is going to be the biggest at bat of Will Baker's young life. I don't want to, overemphasize, but look at it this way. Yes, Ridgepoint has the lead, but if he could get a hit and add 2, maybe even 3, it would be huge. All right. In the left-handed box, facing Gabe Rodriguez for the first time. Stratton at third, McCormick at second, and Ferris at first. First pitch down low to Will Baker. Baker gets back into the left-handed box. Rodriguez goes from the stretch. Now he steps off and wants his catcher Smith to go through the signs yet again. Baker didn't leave the box. Ready for the 1-0. And now another step off. It's not a school night, so I'm not going to gripe about it. Will Baker ready with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that's down and in. He had to hop backward to make sure it didn't hit him in the foot. But another hit batsman would mean an insurance run, brought to you by the Needville Brought to you by the Needville Insurance Agency, and I have time to say that again nice and slow and clearly because Westside has asked for a timeout and Coach Mike Barrow goes out to the mound. I owe the Needville folks something better. The Needville Insurance Agency put hundreds of dollars back in your pocket when Bradley Stavanaugh and the Needville Insurance Agency team shop all those insurance carriers and find the very lowest premium for you. You don't even have to leave your house. Call Bradley Stavanaugh and he'll save you money on your car insurance or your home insurance or both. 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Will Baker with a 2-0 count, bases loaded, 2 away, his team up by 1 in the top of the 7th, trying to close out this series against Westside. Here's the pitch from Rodriguez, down and away, it's 3-0. Westside desperately needs Gabe Rodriguez to throw a strike, and the Ridgepoint fans are trying to rattle it. The 3-0. Strike 1. All right. Now both sides are making noise. Here's the 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Ridgepoint leads 3-1 as Stratton is forced in on the bases loaded walk. McCormick moves to third, Ferris to second, and Will Baker is at first. So an RBI for Will Baker. How about that? Now it is Blaine Ryan. First pitch, breaking ball, outside corner, strike. He's 0 for 2. Tyler Martin came in and hit for him once. Here comes the 0-1. Outside. No, they called it a strike. That wasn't over the plate. Okay, Blaine Ryan ready to protect. 0-2 the count. Pitch on the way. That's upstairs, and it's 1-2. Westside faithful wanted a strike call on that one. The very speedy Blaine Ryan ready for the 1-2. Here it comes. And he loops it towards center field. It's down for a hit. One run is in. Here comes another one. Save! Two-run single for Blaine Ryan, and Ridgepoint leads it 5-1. How about that Blaine Ryan? McCormick and Ferris come across. Will Baker ends up at second on the play. Back to the top of the order, and Zion Stevens.
Batter for the Panthers, number 1, Zion Stevens.
Breathing room for Ridgepoint. They get 3 runs in the inning. And Stevens was intentionally passed last time. Other than that, he was 0 for 3, so he'd really like to get a hit. Pitch on the way. Popped up on the infield, and it's the first baseman, Cooper Langford. Steps onto the infield grass with his toes on that grass. Makes the catch. That retires the side, but Ridgepoint scores 3 times. And they have a 5-1 lead. They will try to close it out. And we'll tell you who is headed to the hill when we return on VypeFortBend.com. Now, go ahead and tell you now. It's the freshman, Jack McKernan.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number 1 mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
All right, so what do you want to know about the freshman, Jack McKernan? He's been great for Ridgepoint this year, but we'll tell you what he did in Game 3 of that series against Seven Lakes that Ridgepoint had to clinch on Saturday. He got the start, a complete game win, 7 innings pitched, 97 pitches, 56% strikes, and a 3-hit shutout. 1-0. Ridgepoint won that clincher. 6 strikeouts and 3 walks for McKernan. Hold on a second. I got to talk to somebody.
Pitcher for Ridgepoint Panthers.
Okay.
Number 11, Jack McKernan.
All right, I want to thank my friend Patrick Mursky, who is at the ball game, and he gave me some news that Lamar has beaten Tompkins. There'll be a 3rd game in that series. All right, McKernan, the freshman left-hander, deals, in the first pitch is a ball as he works to the 9th-place hitter that is scheduled to be Brett Plank, but instead he gets Leo Boss, currently the center fielder. Here's the 1-0 to Boss. There's a strike on the inside corner. Thank you, Mr. Mursky. So, Ridgepoint can come right here to Stratford tomorrow afternoon if they get the win here, and they can watch Tompkins and Lamar. Swing and a miss by Boss. Jack McKernan had his hat fly off as he delivered the pitch, and he caught it with his pitching hand while the batter swung and missed. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Now top of the order, and Michael Fisk. Righty hitting Michael Fisk against the lefty Jack McKernan. First pitch, here it comes. Just low for a ball. I think it was over the plate on the inside corner, but down a bit. Fisk is 1 for 3 with a third inning single. McKernan rocks and fires. Oh, that looked pretty good. But it was slightly high. And it's 2-0. McKernan brings it. That's low. He goes to 3-0 on Michael Fisk. McKernan likes to work quickly. The 3-0 is in there. Strike at the knees. McKernan gets the sign from Kinnett, delivers, swing and a miss. After he falls behind 3-0, it's now 3-2 on Michael Fisk. Ridgepoint came up with a 3-run rally in their half of the 7th, and it's a pretty comfortable situation for Jack McKernan. Here comes the payoff pitch, fouled over onto the top of the net on the right side. Farley is scheduled to hit next. It's kind of hard to see the on-deck hitter here at Stratford. Not that I'm complaining. This place is awesome. That's right, Coach Humphreys. It's awesome. And your big brother's coming here tomorrow. All right, another payoff pitch. Pop up on the infield. And it is Vossas calling for it in front of second base. He's got it. 2 away. Wow, that was up there a long time. Ridgepoint 1 out away from punching their ticket into the 3rd round of the playoffs. If in the Region 3 quarterfinals, they would face either Tompkins or Lamar. Those two teams face each other right here on this field tomorrow afternoon. We won't broadcast that one. McKernan brings it, and the pitch is high to Farley. 1-0. McKernan looks over the top of his glove. Here it comes. Outside corner strike. Westside fans yearning for a string of hits, but they've gone a little bit quieter now. Open stance from the left-handed box. Farley is ready, lefty to lefty, and he got hit by that one. And so there is a runner on, and that's not what McKernan wanted, but still 2 outs and a runner at first. By the way, this is not technically a save situation, but it sure is a big situation. All right, now it is Peter Smith, the catcher.
Next batter for the Westside Wolves, number 7, Peter Smith.
And they're giving Farley a moment to kind of shake his left hand, try and shake the pain out of there. He probably feels like it was in a beehive, but he's going to run, and Peter Smith will face young Jack McKernan. Lefty dealing to righty. Here it comes, and that's up and in. And the Westside fans don't like it, but of course there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that Jack McKernan is trying to hit somebody. Here's the 1-0. Outside corner, missed. 2-0. McKernan looks in, gets the sign. Smith crowding the plate from the right-handed box. And Ridgepoint has decided they're not going to have Travis Vlasic try to hold the runner Farley at first. He's playing well off the bag and deep. There's the strike, and it's 2-1 on Peter Smith. The last hope for these Westside Wolves. Here's the 2-1, up and in, 3-1. Kernan gets the sign. Here comes the 3-1 strike. And now the Wolves are down to their final strike. So on the pitch, you're going to have a runner on the move. That's Farley. Here's the 3-2. Oh, strike 3! Series over! wins on the call. Strike three. Jack McCurner finishes what his teammate started. And we'll be back to bring you the totals. Congratulations, Panthers, who are into the third round.
In the state 6A.
The winning pitcher.
I'd say congratulations.
Hold on just a second.
Teams for outstanding
distraction.
Congratulations goes out to the West Point Panthers.
Winning pitcher, Kellen Gradisar. Jack McKernan doesn't get a save, but he gets he gets to celebrate after striking out that final hitter to put an end to it.
Final score, Rich Point 5.
We'll be right back.
Westside 1.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom! Shakalaka! That's why they call her the Master of Moolah, the Sultan of Savings, the Queen of Cash. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. All for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you.
You are the master of the multitask, the champion of making it happen. Taking care of business is not for the faint of heart. Still, you take care of it.
Taking care of business.
But who takes care of you? Office Depot Office Max. We supply you, copy you, and tune you up. Members get 2% back in rewards on everything, and we mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max.
Taking care of business.
All right, I thought you'd like to enjoy a little Earth, Wind, and Fire there before I bring you the totals on this game for the Ridge Point Panthers, who get the 2-game sweep of the series, 5 runs on 10 hits. The Panthers made 2 errors, and they left 11 runners on base. Kind of remarkable to leave that many men on, but, it could have been, I guess you could say that there was a possibility it could have been a one-sided game before Ridge Point came up to bat in the 7th. But they got 3 runs in the 7th to make it a fairly comfortable margin of victory, 5-1. 1 run on 8 hits, no errors for the Westside Wolves, and they left 8 runners on. Wow, so many different things that happened. Let's look at what happened for Ridge Point defensively, and really I think the biggest play of all was in the bottom of the 5th. Coming up to bat was Peter Smith, and he hit one to left field where Carter Groen picked it up, and he threw it to Parker Martin in the relay to J.J. Kennett, and that threw out a runner at the plate, and that was devastating for Westside because it kept Ridge Point on top by a score of 2-1. And also, there was another situation where Westside came up. There was a double hit by Gabriel Rodriguez, but it was a ground rule double. Nathan Ronhell had singled. He was at first base. So when the ball bounced over the fence, that meant that he only got to go from first to third, and thereafter the ball is a dead ball when it bounces over the fence. So it was really a good idea if this was part of it. It's kind of hard to tell because it was so far away, but if Owen Ferris decided the best thing to do was let the ball hit the hard ground, that is as a result of the lack of rain that we've had, well, that was a brilliant move on his part because it hopped over the wall, and as a result, there was still just 1 run on the board for the whole game for these Westside Wolves, who are getting their post-game talk with their fine coach, Mike Barrow. Now on offense for Ridge Point in the first inning, Parker Martin got a double with 1 out, and Justin Vassis singled him home. So Ridge Point had a 1-0 lead after just a half inning of play, but they didn't score again until the top of the 5th. In the 5th, there was a hit by pitch on Justin Vassis, and then a double by J.J. Kennett that brought him home. So that resulted in the run that made it 2-1 Ridge Point, and they held on to that 2-1 lead, but then they had a very busy 7th inning. Vassis led off with a fly ball out, but Travis Vlasic singled. After that, J.J. Kennett got a hit, and then a fly ball to right field by Carter Groen, and then a hit by pitch to Ferris, and that loaded the bases for Will Baker, and he drew a bases-loaded walk to push home a run. Blaine Ryan got a 2-run single right after that. It was 5-1 Ridge Point, and then it was a matter of just bringing in the freshman left-handed flamethrower, Jack McKernan, and that was that. So, as a result of what happened elsewhere, Tompkins lost to Lamar, and those two teams are going to play right here at Stratford at 7 p.m. You don't even have to get a sunburn. If you're interested in that game, you can come out and watch it. Now, meanwhile, the Foster Falcons are trailing 3-2 to LaPorte. If their series goes to a third game, it'll be tomorrow night at Manville, and we will broadcast that one for you. And because Ridge Point won and won't be playing tomorrow, we will broadcast Foster softball as at 11 a.m. they're going to take on the Santa Fe Indians in Game 2 of their series. Those two teams are playing their Game 1 tonight, and I don't know what's going on with that one. All right, I've told you about all that I can, and I don't want them to be upset with me for not getting out of here in a timely way. So I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. Roger Smith along with the Vype team, Les Clary, Merle Bertrand, Suna Venkat, Bob McKay, Patrick Kinnick, everybody who's involved at VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports. We so appreciate you not only listening, but telling as many people as you possibly can that we will bring them the excitement of Fort Bend County sports. We got Foster football and Foster softball and baseball still alive. Fulshire still alive and playing a game 3 tonight against Crosby, and the Ridge Point Panthers moving on to round 3. Thanks again. God bless, and we will talk to you tomorrow morning, getting you ready for Santa Fe softball against Foster. Go Falcons. Good night, everybody.